cars. In fact, the game that I'm going to be making is going to be multiplayer, so you can play it with your friends. Um, and then you have to basically kind of go through this track. There are some maybe obstacles on the way. There are some maybe boosters, and a couple other stuff. So yeah, we're gonna make something like this, but a more simpler version of it. All right, so let's get started with that. So the first thing I'm going to do on Scratch is to design the track. The track I'm going to design, well, I'm going to make it from scratch, and it's going to be, first of all, a green type of like a resembling grass type of a backdrop. And you can, the design excuse me, the design is really up to you, how you want to deal with it. For me, I'm just going to keep it simple like this. I think I've done this in one of my previous tutorials about that AI car thingy, but this one I'm gonna do like with the same kind of track basically. So I'll pick pick this one, brush, and then get a maybe kind of a gray or blackish type of color right there, and then increase the size of the brush to the maximum. I think it's 100. The maximum is 100. Yeah. All right. And all you need to do is to then draw how your track, needs to be like. So I'm going to do a very simple one. Nothing fancy. There we go. All right. And then just place it wherever you want. For me, here is fine. Something like that. Get rid of the cat. I'm good with the track right now. Like I said, you can make it however you wish. For me, it's good right now. For the car, I'm gonna do very simple design, like I've done before with my, if you guys remember the Jaywalker. I'm gonna do pretty much the same kind of design here. So a rectangle here. Let's change the color. So maybe kind of a red color. We're going to have one red, and then later on, after I'm done with this one, we're going to make another one blue. And we want to increase the outline. Looks good. And for the tires, we can use, again, squares because it's like a top-down game. So if I'm looking from the top, then this is pretty much how it's going to look like. And duplicate that, Control C and Control V, and put it right here. And then I can get these two, and then Control C and Control V again, and then put them right in front. And one thing that we can do for this one is to get all of these tires. What I can do is hold Shift, and I can select all of these tires one by one, and then group them together, and then send them backwards so that it goes like behind the car. And just as an indicator as to where the front of the car is, I'm gonna draw a little stripe right here. Okay, happy with that. Maybe more to the center. And I'm good. You wanna make your cars, nice and fancy, up to you. Mine is gonna look like this. So let's go ahead and get it moving. So I'm going to call this one car 1. And the code is going to be extremely simple. By the way, let's first of all, yeah, that's something I kind of forgot. Let's actually create a starting point. Also, I want to size down my car to fit here. So right now it's too big. So let's see, the size 20 looks good. And I'm going to put it right here as a starting point for this car. And let's go ahead and pick that position right here. Also, the direction needs to be 90 so that when I start every time, this car will go back to the beginning. All right. So no matter where I am, you see, when I start, it's going to go back there, guaranteed. All right. After that, what we want to do is to have this forever. Then what I want to do actually with this car is to actually have it always move forward, so non-stop. So we're going to have it move maybe 5 steps all the way, all right? But then I only want to be able to control the right and the left. So I'm going to get 2 of these ifs, and then we'll say if. For now, I'm going to pick D for dog, and another one A for apple. So if I press D, I want us to turn this way, but maybe not 15 degrees, maybe just 5 degrees. And then if I press A, I want it to turn that way 5 degrees. So you see, now I can kind of control it. So as you can see, right now it's too fast. So definitely not the greatest idea. So let's slow it down by, you know, this number right here. So I'm going to pick 2. Better, definitely better. All right. Also, what I want to do is to actually, I need to avoid hitting the green grass. Okay. So what I'll do is that if it is hitting the grass, I actually wanted to reset back to the beginning. So what I'll say here is that if touching grass, then I wanted to reset back. So basically pick these 2 again. Okay. And go back to the beginning. So let's try that. You see, right now I can go just fine. However, if I hit some like a grass, and then boom, goes back to the beginning. All right. And maybe give it a little bit of a wait when it goes back to the beginning, because I don't want it to be like so sudden when it moves. All right. You know, this is looking good so far. By the way, I do want to wait a second here. I do want to add a starting line like right here. So let me go back to the backdrop and zoom in and add like a line right here. And let me see. I think right here would be good. I don't want it to be black. I want to pick another color, white. Okay, so that's going to be our start line. And by the way, we will actually count the number of laps. So the fact is, this car, when it hits that that line, we actually want to count the number of laps it has gone through. So if I make a variable here, I'll call it C1 laps, and then this is going to be for the car 1, right? And I'll say if touching white, if touching, and then pick that white right there. Okay, if touching white, what I want to do is to add 1 to the car laps. Also, I want to reset it to 0 in the beginning. Okay, I think there's a problem with this. We'll see. You can see right now, it immediately in the first lap, it gives me 12, which is not what we want. We want to only have 1. The reason it gives me 12 is that Scratch is very fast in calculating you know, how many times you're touching a color, especially when you're using a forever loop. So what I want to do is to basically stop this one from calculating when I'm touching that color for 1 second after I do it. But I don't want to keep this one here. If I keep this here after I touch the start line, it's going to lag for 1 second. Look what I mean. You see? It's touching there, and then it's going to lag right there. So we don't want this to interrupt the movement. So I'm going to separate this into another forever. This way, this is only calculating the laps, and then these ones are mainly for movement. All right, so let's go again. You can see now I have 1 lap for my beginning lap. All right, great. So now that we have that, the next thing we want to do is to maybe add a lucky, or like a what do you call it, a booster, or or a prize or whatever you want to call it on the track, so that when one of the cars actually get it, they can boost. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and create the booster. You know, you can make it whatever shape you want. I'm going to quickly come up with a shape right here. We want to fill it with blue, outline black, maybe smaller outline, and we want to give it like a plus sign in the center, and we want to change that color maybe to black, and then put it right here, and put the thing right here. And then this one, I want it to just kind of randomly appear somewhere around here at random intervals. All right, so basically sometimes it just needs to appear, and then whoever is a lucky car is gonna be able to get it. Now, I do think that putting it here is a little bit risky. So when you're designing your game, you should also be very careful about that. Putting it here is a risky thing to do, because if the car actually speeds up right around the corner, there's a very high chance that it's going to hit one of these corners. So you do want to give it a more relaxed position so that the car doesn't have to do a lot of maneuvers. So I think here is in fact a better place to be. So I'm going to put it right here as the initial position. Go back to the code. I'm going to call this one booster. And we'll say when I start. So we want this thing to actually be hidden. All right. So hide it. Let's see. Right here. All right. And then we'll have a forever here. Okay. And then this forever will basically be checking whether or not the car has actually hit it or not. All right. So we'll say if, let me get an if here, if touching car 1. Later, when we add a second car, we want to actually change this one to car 1 or car 2. All right, so be careful about that. If touching car 1 or car 2, we actually want to hide it. All right, so get a hide again. But otherwise, we actually want to have this thing pop up, you know, from time to time. So I'll say, again, we'll get another one of these, and then we'll say, let's see, forever, and then get a random number, maybe every 1 to 10 seconds, or maybe get a little bit less often, so maybe 5 to 20 seconds. So wait 5 to 20 seconds. All right, and then show it. All right, the reason I don't want to put this one in here is because this wait is going to interrupt with this touching thing. So sometimes, you know, maybe it's touching that you know, that booster, but it's not going to hide, which is not a good thing. All right, so look at here now. So when I start, so it's not there right now, right? But then it is going to appear at some point. It's just kind of, maybe you were unlucky in the beginning, and it's, you see, okay, it just appeared, but then when I touch it, boom, it's going to disappear. All right, so then what does that have to do with the car? Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make another variable here called car, or we'll just say C1 speed. All right, and then we want to put this variable inside of this move block. All right, But then we will set C1 speed to 2 in the beginning, all right? However, if we touch that booster, so here I'm going to say if touching booster, get it, touching booster, I wanted to boost its speed for maybe 5 seconds. So what I'll say is that I'll say set C1 speed to 5. Okay, it's a little bit faster. And then wait maybe 5 seconds. Okay, and then set it back to 2. Set it back to 2. Okay, this way we're not going to be boosting like all the time. And I think by the looks of it, we actually need to, let me look at this and see. Yeah, this is all, I think. All right, now this might be the wrong solution, but I think we do need to have another, let me see here. Do I need to have another one of these? Yeah, I think I do need to have another one of these forever blocks, because it's going to interrupt. If I put it in either one of these, it's going to interrupt with one of them, you know, so we don't want that. All right, let's try this. Let's try this. Starting from the beginning, going around, trying to not touch any of these things. Hopefully I'm going to get a booster. Boom, boom, oops. Right there, it was too fast. Goodness, it was too fast. All right, so yes, it is in fact a little bit challenging. So let's actually not have speed of 5. Let's do 3. Okay, I think 5 is a big difference. Also, one more thing. When I do reset and go back to the beginning, I also want to make sure that speed is also at 2, so that I don't want to have like a super quick jump, because this is just what happened just now. So let's go one more time. And, you know, trying to be a good driver, not hitting stuff. Please show me the booster. Okay, come on. Are you kidding me right now? All right, so I have to go one more lap to get it. And I will try to go this way. Okay, this is a little bit better, definitely. It's more manageable for sure, and I did actually speed up and then speed back down again. Great. Okay, so I think I'm happy with this number right here. You can in fact just kind of you know, change it to whatever you feel is good, and then you know, design your game as is. Also, one more thing, you could easily switch this one to a maybe like a obstacle or something, so that when your car hits it, it will slow down your car. So basically you follow the same process, except it will slow it down. So I'm going to leave that to you guys. All right, so the next part, which is pretty much, I guess I could say it's the easier part, is to have another player. So right now we only have one player here, right? So let's actually duplicate this. All right, and I'll go and change the color of it. Maybe make it blue like that. So the beginning position, I want for this one to be like around here. I think that's a good position to have. So all I need to do is to switch this block with this one now. Okay. And then we also need to switch these variables. So we need to make 2 more, one for each, one for the car 2 or C2. So I'll just make C2 speed and C2 laps. And you go ahead and change all of these. So this one is C2 laps, C2 speed. You just change them accordingly. C1 speed, we change it to C2 speed. and done. All right. One more thing is for turning right and turning left. So this one, we need to, you can switch it to, for example, for me, I'm going to switch it to the right arrow. This one to the left arrow. All right. So now I have, by the way, I can hide all of these variables. Now I have two independent cars. You see, they're moving independently. Oh, by the way, it went on top of that car in the beginning. Oh, okay, one more thing. We need to switch this one down below here as well. So I'm going to switch this position with the one that I just replaced on the top. So get that, put it right there, boom, and we are good. Okay, so this way we have, you know, two different cars in the beginning. They're independent from each other, and you can play with your friends and, you know, have a lot of fun. I think, you know, this game is actually one of those games that I personally have a lot of fun playing, even when I'm playing with my students or, well, you know, with friends. So yeah, it's definitely worth making. So go ahead and make it, and then play with your family, play with your friend. Let me know in the comment what you think about it. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and leave a like. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.